Are we recording?
We didn't get all dressed up for nothing.
Nope. Check 1, 2, testing. We're ready for due.
Checkity, Bill Breckety.
We're ready for due episode 77.
What you say to me when you talk to me that way?
Check.
Rolling on the freeway like a chicken.
With a head cut off.
Apple fritter. Yum.
Welcome to Irritable Dad Syndrome, the perfect podcast for people who have no friends. Here are your hosts, Mike and Darren.
Hey, I'm Mike.
I'm Darren.
Welcome to Irritable Dad Syndrome. This is episode 77.
We're still irritable. We're still dads.
Yes.
Still syndromatic.
Despite everything that you've done, you are still a father.
I am still a father.
Your family has not walked out on you, nor has my family walked out on me.
Can I say something about Father Figure, the George Michael song?
Sure.
That's creepy.
Yeah.
You know? And it sucks because it's like the music is cool.
It's
and
not a bad song.
You can't.
Till the end of time.
Yeah, it's like Red Robin. Yeah. Yum. But you can't sing better than he sings in that song.
That's true.
That's true.
No, I know I can't.
No one can.
Right.
But you got to deal with the fact that in the video, he's walking around. That was his leather jacket days with the mirror shades.
I remember.
And the stubble. 5 o'clock, the thing.
Yeah.
He was going through.
That's why I have the stubble.
Yeah. He was
going for that George Michael.
He's going through the Sonny Crockett phase.
Yes.
And he's like, you're like, is that in the video? You're like, is that his daughter? And if it's not, it's like the whole call me
you know what?
Daddy
I
thing.
don't remember the video well enough.
Yeah, the video it's in theory. In theory, it's not his daughter, but it's a little. I will be
in theory.
At one point, it says, "I'll be your daddy." No, don't just stop. I feel like I have to take a shower.
Well, you know what? George Michael has stopped doing that song.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to cut that out. I'm cutting that out. Because I like George Michael.
I like George Michael, too.
I'm not a fan of that joke. I'll cut that out. Folks, I got to edit this one this week, so this is going to be a hootenanny.
What was wrong with that joke?
Nothing.
He stopped doing that song.
He did.
He stopped doing everything.
Okay. It's too soon.
Okay. It's been like 7 years or something since George Michael passed away, hasn't it?
Welcome to the show.
You want to start over?
No.
Okay.
No.
Great,
I'll patch it together.
Fine.
We were hilarious within the first 2 minutes. So we just coast the next 58 and we're good.
I wish you could stop obsessing about the first 2 minutes. You're going to be in therapy, okay? Your shrink is going to be saying, Mike, so what's the problem? You're going to be sitting there shaking. He said I wasn't funny in the first 2 minutes.
Yeah. Somebody's about to stop listening. Stop. Don't go to another podcast.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be talking about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Right.
Going too many times to the concession stand.
Mm-hmm. And Bill Bixby.
It's
going to be a great episode.
And other fun topics.
Thank you for joining us.
If you haven't already, go to irritabledadsyndrome.com.
That's our website.
That's our website. And you can find all of our links there. Or I don't know if you're a weirdo sitting there with a Post-it note or a notepad and you're writing these down furiously.
Mm-hmm.
At Dad Irritable is on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what our Instagram is. Just go to our website and you'll see it.
Yeah.
And when you get to our website, you'll see all these cool things, summaries of episodes, searchable stuff.
Yeah.
You can search for like topics. Like, did these guys ever talk about anything interesting or funny? When was the first time a person complained about us not being funny in the first 2 minutes?
Episode 2.
You'll see it. Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show.
I'm in a mood.
You are in a mood.
I had my monster drink an hour and a half ago. I typically... You know that I like to double fist it during this episode.
Yeah,
episodes. I usually have an alcoholic beverage and then a super energy drink.
Right.
What's that? They used to go Toco Loco. What was that drink? Loco Coco. It was like killing college kids.
Funky Cold Medina.
No. It was like the
Jumbo
early
Coco
2000s.
Loco?
They had all these kids that were dropping dead at frat parties because they were mixing like Red Bull and freaking
I remember that now.
moonshine or something. That's basically what I'm doing.
You've got a glass of wine and water. I don't think that's the same thing.
I had the monster drink an hour and a half ago. That's what I'm saying. It's hit my endocrine system, and I know that's not what it's called, but I'm going to say it anyway.
Your pulmonary system.
It's my pulmonary system where my fluma is created. And I am jacked beyond belief and ready to roll. And this episode. Okay, so when I get jacked like this, this show turns into those YouTube or TikTok videos where you see the dude on like a BMX bike on Mount Everest,
and he jumps,
and he's jumping, and he's either going to make it and have like a viral video, or he's dead.
Right.
That's what it is like on this show. It's either going to be an awesome episode, or it's crashing and burning.
What I love about those is, especially on the Instagram, and then they show the videos, they have the guy jumping off the cliff, and then right before he hits something, it goes away. It just stops. I'm like, what? What do you?
Yeah.
And then and they never show the rest of it, and you can't find the rest of the video, and it infuriates me.
And then you have the comments. I can do that.
Yeah,
I did that last week. I'm doing that right now.
We started on Hulu. America's Funniest Home Videos is on Hulu now.
Okay.
And we watched an episode with my youngest son the other night, and we're all just rolling on the floor, dying laughing. And that the format and the formula for that show, you just can't beat it. It's constantly people walking into screen doors, people slipping on hoses, and people tripping over cats, and people rolling down the yard in wheelchairs, and it's just endless entertainment.
Is it Bob Saget or the other guy?
It's the guy who was on the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
I don't.
There's a new
Will Smith.
No.
Okay. I know there's the other guy.
Yeah,
there's been like two guys, Bob Saget and the other guy.
Bob Saget did it for a long time.
Yeah.
Another guy from Full House did it for a while.
Okay.
And
Dave Coulier.
Dave Coulier did it for a while. Then the game show host, the one who's on Dancing with the Stars, or he used to be on Dancing with the Stars, he did it for a while, and now it's somebody from. But anyway,
I keep getting Dave Coulier and Jeff Daniels mixed up.
How? That doesn't make any sense.
In my head, they're the same person.
Okay.
And it really makes it awkward and weird when I found out that the Alanis Morissette song is about Dave Coulier.
What?
When I see...
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Since when?
Since it was written.
The
You Ought to Know. It's about him. Look it up. I read it on the internet. You know it's true.
She wrote, "Are you thinking about me when you..."
Dave Coulier.
Dave Coulier.
Yep.
Dave Coulier.
Yes. Okay. Which is the reaction just about everybody had. She quit talking about it immediately thereafter.
I've lost some respect for Alanis Morissette.
But I knew that when I saw other Jeff Daniels things. And I know Jeff Daniels had nothing to do with that. All Jeff Daniels has done, he fought some spiders with the guy from Roseanne.
John Goodman.
I love John Goodman. I can't
Arachnophobia.
believe I forgot his name.
Who doesn't love John Goodman? Let's see if we can... Hey, Clara, can we get him as a guest on our show? Thank you.
He,
our secretary,
fought against Dennis Hopper with Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock. He hung out with Jim Carrey in a poodle mobile.
Yes.
And killed that guy with the hot sauce.
Yes.
And he did that one show, that one scene from that one show that you keep seeing on YouTube, where he's they say, why is America the greatest country? It's not the greatest country.
Right. My favorite John Goodman movie is still Raising Arizona. Okay. The Coen brothers at their finest.
You never leave a man behind.
Exactly. Robs the bank.
Yeah.
And while he's he robs the convenience store. While he's getting the cash, he says, I'll take those balloons. Do they come in any funny shapes? Well, no, unless you think round is funny. Okay. Yeah. Raising Arizona is just a masterpiece. And then
I'm with you.
You have, the Big Lebowski.
The Big Lebowski is my pick for his. Yes. I love Walter Sobchak.
This is how it feels when you get Walter.
But Smokey, this is bowling, not nom. There are rules.
Got the gun to his
Market
face.
zero.
Market zero. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, but yeah, John Goodman is fantastic in those two movies. And we just watched again, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
I was going to mention that. Yeah. That's like the third Coen Brothers John Goodman movie.
He's been in 5 or 6. He was in Barton Fink.
Okay.
And where he wrestles a lot.
Okay.
In that one. I haven't seen that one.
But he was the Cyclops in Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, he was. Yeah. So John Goodman, if you want to be a guest on our show, we'd love to have you. But that's not why you guys called.
No.
I was going to talk about this show. This episode airs after the Super Bowl. Okay, so we're going to have a winner. We're recording it before the Super Bowl. So
congratulations, Bengals.
Man, how about that game?
Dude, that was close.
That throw That catch, that was insane. Can you believe it when and then there they were, like right there on the field the whole time, right? We were, and wow.
I know something that will happen, so I'm going to go out on a limb here.
Yeah.
You remember that interception? Oh. And how people freaked out and the lady dropped the wings?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was nuts. It's insane. And those commercials. Oh, man.
Okay, so I've turned the corner. Can we talk about Super Bowl commercials for a minute?
Okay.
Back in the day, I watched the Super Bowl.
Betty White.
I watched the Super Bowl only for the commercials. Now, the commercials actually annoy me a little bit. It's like, come on, get back to the game. Is that weird?
No, because the last 2 or 3 years I've been disappointed with the commercials. There's maybe 1 or 2.
If Jason Bateman's in it, it's gold.
I do like Jason Bateman, even though I don't like the show Ozark. So a few years ago, we were at a friend's watching the Super Bowl. And I've mentioned this before. I used to work at a TV station. I made local commercials for like 12 years.
You made commercials about furniture and
car
about
dealerships.
Making peanut butter jelly sandwiches.
That's right. You were in a couple of commercials.
One of those, yeah.
So anyway, we're watching these commercials. And this guy at the party says, man, these commercials are lame. And my son, Jacob, stands up and says, yeah, my dad makes better commercials than these. And everyone thought he was being hilarious. And then he's like, no, I'm serious. My dad makes better commercials than these.
This portion of Irritable Dad Syndrome is brought to you by Gee, Your Hair Smells Terrific, the perfect shampoo for ladies who love to look and smell their best. Now, back to the show.
Something that did happen recent in the world of rock and roll. You and I, a few months ago, went to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame nominees are released. Yeah. And 5 of these people will be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame soon.
Who are they?
The New York Dolls. I'm not a fan. That doesn't mean whatever.
I'm not a fan of dolls.
Okay.
I'm just not.
Okay.
I don't know. Some people like them.
Devo.
Okay, I
love Devo.
I respect Devo. Okay. I put Devo in the same category as the Grateful Dead. Like, I respect them. I get it. People love them. I personally don't listen to them. Yeah. But if I met them, I would be like, can you sign something for me, please?
I think their impact on rock and roll is undeniable.
And Legos.
Yes. What?
Those hats.
Oh, that's
and their
right.
impact on Revenge of the Nerds. I mean, without Devo, you would never have had the musical number.
That is true. That is absolutely true.
Devo helped the Nerds win.
Yeah. Duran Duran.
Okay.
Dionne Warwick.
That's not the guy that dressed up like Wicket in Return of the Jedi, is it?
No, that was
Willow.
That was Warwick Davis.
Oh, okay. he didn't have a singing career? Okay.
No, but we watched one of the Harry Potter movies again the other day, and he was in that.
Okay.
And I think that's the guy from Willow.
He looks like he'd have a nice voice.
And he's in like almost all the Star Wars movies, too.
Yeah, he's literally there. Yeah.
So, okay, Dionne Warwick, Eurythmics. Sweet dreams are made of these. Yeah, okay. Carly Simon, Lionel Richie. I've been saying for 15 years that Lionel Richie needs to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Eminem.
There we go.
Okay.
I'm down with Eminem.
I think he's going to make it.
Yeah.
Beck.
Oh, I love Beck.
Beck is awesome.
I love Beck.
Oh, we got A Tribe Called Quest.
Okay.
Kate Bush. MC5. Here's your boys. Judas Priest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I saw them. Deep Purple and Judas Priest together.
Yeah.
They were great.
Yep.
They were really great.
Yep.
This is the person who I've actually voted for.
Okay.
Pat Benatar.
Oh,
I voted for Pat. When we went to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, she's not in there, but her outfit, her skirt, her little, you could put 2 hands around. She had like the most itty bitty waist. It's like, girl, eat a sandwich.
Yeah.
Fela Kuti. I don't know who Fela Kuti is.
Fela Kuti?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dolly Parton.
How's she not? What?
Okay. There's going to be someone who justifies her being nominated because she wrote the song "I Will Always Love You," which was a mega hit for
what? For Celine Dion?
No, not
Dolly
Celine.
Parton
Not Celine Dion. For Whitney Houston. Yeah. Please don't sing. Stop.
Dolly Parton wrote that?
She wrote that. And now here's what makes Dolly Parton badass. Okay. Elvis Presley wanted to do the song. He wanted to record I'll Always Love You.
Okay.
Yep. And his manager, Colonel Tom Parker, That's his name.
I know. I should not have had that monster drink. I'm sorry.
He told her that if Elvis, because she was going to let Elvis record the song, but in order for them to do that, they wanted the rights to the song. And she goes, well, I'm not selling you my publishing rights.
Yeah.
So she told Elvis no.
There you go.
She told the king of rock and roll, no, screw you.
He wasn't really the king then. He was more of a prince.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's what I think makes Dolly Parton badass.
Yeah.
And finally, Rage Against the Machine. Okay. So five of them are going to get in. Yeah. I say it's going to be Rage.
Oh, wait, these aren't all getting in.
No, these are nominees.
Only 5 of them get
nominees. Yeah, then only five will be inducted. So I say it's going to be Rage, Pat Benatar.
Yeah, Eminem.
Yeah, I think Eminem will get in it. I want Devo.
Okay.
And
Judas Priest is going to get in.
And, well, I don't know.
There will be a riot. There will be a cavalcade of leather-wearing, rhinestone-having people down there.
There has been a bizarre... It's wild how they have shunned a lot of heavy metal acts. Like it took Black Sabbath 15 years or something like that to get inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame after they were eligible. So I don't know. But anyway, those are the acts, and I really, really hope Rage gets in there. I would love to see Devo get in there because I've been a big Devo fan since way, way, way back in the early 80s.
Yeah.
And last year, Kraftwerk were inducted as early influences. So Kraftwerk basically did, I think it's called digital music, digital rock or whatever, electronic.
We called it techno back in the day.
Exactly. A bunch of bleeps and bloops and that type of thing.
Rock me on my nails.
Well, that was Falco.
They didn't do that.
No, they did not do that. That was Falco. Yeah.
Helping the kids out.
Yeah, that's because the kids are all about Falco. Sure. Yeah. But Devo made it really, really popular. Devo were one of the first bands that made that style of music very popular. So that's what I'm thinking.
And one piece yellow.
Yes. the jumpsuits.
Yes.
Exactly.
So on the rundown here, it says Dune is nominated for some Oscars.
Dune is nominated for 10 Academy Awards.
Good God.
Nominated for Best Picture. I think well-deserved. Not nominated for Best Director.
Okay.
Which is crazy. How can you have a Best Picture if it's not nominated for Best Director? But they have 9 movies nominated for Picture and only 5 people nominated for Director. So some of them have to be one and not the other.
Yeah.
And then it's not. I've got the list here, but it's nominated for a bunch of other stuff.
So I got pissed off at Dune.
I thought you loved Dune.
I love Dune.
Okay.
But you know why we have to wait until 2023 for the sequel? Is because they didn't start filming it immediately because they wanted to see how this one was going to do before they put in more money.
Right.
And that annoyed me.
They should have Lord of the Rings.
They should have Lord of the Rings it. And I'm looking at it. I was like, Lord of the Rings, they took one of the most beloved, the fantasy epic.
They took like the absolute biggest chance.
And they gave it to a guy that was famous for a really weird zombie movie where most of the special effects are made with saran wrap and spaghetti. And they said, here, do this thing.
Well, no,
that's like
it's not like they handed it to him. He drove the idea. He pitched it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he ran with it.
But
have you ever seen the movie Meet the Feebles?
No, but I saw the Dead Alive. I saw Dead Alive.
Oh my God, if you have any respect for Peter Jackson. I mean,
but
it's a horrible movie.
So he pitched it, but the J.R. Tolkien Foundation, they own the story. They get to like choose who does it. It's like a thing.
Yes.
Same thing. I think Dune is the same thing. The Frank Herbert, whatever group.
Right. Yeah.
Own it. And you have to come.
That's the FHG.
You pay homage. You you bring them the Holy Grail and show that you've found it and you're worthy. And then they bestow upon you the ability to do the movie.
Yeah.
Why they would wait? Because there's kids, basically kids, teenagers in the movie. Now you're going to wait a couple of years for the next one. This dude's voice is going to be all different. He's going to have a mustache. He's going to be wearing a Rage Against the Machine shirt.
You're talking Oliphant? Timothy Oliphant?
No.
That's his name, right?
No, Timothy Oliphant is the dude. No, this dude's like Jacques Chouboula or something. Timothy Oliphant.
I'm a big fan of Jacques Chouboula.
Timothy Oliphant is the guy that you kind of knew who he was until he was in Deadwood, and then everybody knew who he was.
Oh, that's right.
And shows up, and he's awesome on Conan when he would show up on Conan. So he's hilarious.
Yeah, is he?
And he was on The Office for like half of a season, And
the American Office?
The American Office.
As
he wasn't. He was a visiting boss. He was like temporarily taking over while Michael Scott was going through his thing. You remember?
That's right. No, he was a temporary salesperson.
Oh, that's what it was.
Yeah.
That's what it was. Yeah. So I saw him in the bloopers. He's hilarious in the bloopers because
he dated Pam.
Yeah.
And Jim, they were trying to figure out why he dumped her. Yep. They couldn't figure out why they dumped her.
Yep.
And now I realize that I said Timothy Oliphant when I'm thinking of Timothy Chalamet.
Oh, yes.
I don't think Timothy Oliphant was in Dune.
No, he wasn't. It would have been better if he was.
Timothy Oliphant is in the Mandalorian.
Is he?
Yeah.
Wow. Who is he in the Mandalorian?
He plays the marshal, the guy, the sheriff of the small town out there in the middle of Tatooine.
I thought that was Bill Burr. No, Bill Burr.
Bill Burr is somebody else in the Mandalorian. Timothy Oliphant plays.
I do not remember.
He plays a marshal.
Was he in a bunch of makeup or something?
Well, he had. He used to wear Boba Fett's gear.
Oh,
and the Mandalorian shows up and says,
"Oh yeah,
you need to take off that gear."
Yeah,
because that's how the Mandalorian talks.
Yeah.
Right.
And Justified. Have you ever seen the show Justified?
Yeah, that's a good show.
I've seen like one episode. I saw one episode.
That's not Timothy Oliphant.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Is it?
Yes, it is. Jesus.
Here I'm talking about Dune for 25 minutes, and it turns out that Timothy Oliphant is the wrong guy.
Yeah, that's fine.
Thanks and welcome to Irritable Dad Syndrome. Anyway, some of the other movies that are nominated for Best Picture are Belfast, Coda, Don't Look Up. I loved Don't Look Up.
I haven't seen Don't Look Up.
It was hilarious.
Is it a space movie?
No.
Oh.
No. It's a movie about there's an asteroid coming toward the Earth.
Okay.
And Meryl Streep is our president. And she and Jonah Hill, her son, who's her chief of staff, decide that they're going to ignore this. And because it'll be bad for the presidency or whatever. Yeah. And there are people who legitimately, even though they can see the asteroid, they can see it coming towards Earth, they doubt that it's there. And it's all a lie. It's a fake. Yeah. It's just all one side trying to hype up and make us afraid of I thought it was hilarious. Good movie. Leonardo DiCaprio was in it, and so is Jennifer Lawrence, J-Law. As the kids call her.
Yep.
Dune, King Richard. That's the movie about the sisters who play tennis. Okay. Venus and Serena Williams.
Okay.
Licorice Pizza, which in my heart wins the award for worst name of a movie.
Okay, yeah.
Which I'm surprised anybody goes to see it, because why would you go see a movie called Licorice Pizza?
That's a movie.
Just on the surface.
Yeah.
Okay, you and Bess are going to the movies, and there's two things showing. And one of them is Don't Look Up, and the other one is Licorice Pizza.
I think she would want to see Licorice Pizza.
Okay. Okay. Nightmare Alley, The Power of the Dog, which I've said before.
I don't know any of these movies.
The Power of the Dog was the worst movie I've seen in a very, 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 very long time.
Dog the Bounty Hunter.
I wish. That would have made it even
this
better.
is the one about the guy with the thing.
The guy with the banjo, and then they're out in the
his son is gay.
In the 30s, yeah.
And then all of a sudden he's
Cumberbatch
not.
And no, he still is.
But his dad's mad, but then he's not. And
it's just.
Then he plays a harpsichord.
A banjo. He plays a banjo.
Same thing.
And Steven Spielberg's remake of West Side Story is nominated for Best Picture. It was good.
Yeah.
We went to see it. I liked it. It's a musical. You would hate it because it's a musical.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but anyway, that's our Oscar rundown. Do you want to make a prediction?
I don't even know any of these movies. Dune will win something.
Dune. Okay. That's our prediction. Dune.
Timothy Oliphant will win Best Actor.
He will sweep the awards.
Sweep the Dune. You know what we're going to find out is that he made like a cameo like Tom Cruise did, and you didn't know he was like really in it. You'll find out that like the worm was played by Timothy Oliphant.
Tom Cruise was in Dune?
No.
Okay, I thought
he might have been.
Yeah.
Might have been.
Yeah. Apparently Tom Cruise made a...
Well, Tom Cruise was in Tropic Thunder, and nobody knew until they were seeing it.
I knew that was Tom Cruise the second I saw him.
You see it, but they didn't advertise that he was in it. And all of a sudden it's like, is that Tom Cruise?
Yeah. Yeah. Tropic Thunder, they need to do a sequel to that.
That is one of the greatest movies of all time.
They desperately need to do a sequel. If you go on YouTube, there is a great video, and I think I posted it on Irritable Dad Syndrome's Facebook page, of Jack Black, Ben Stiller, and Robert Downey Jr. I don't know why the three of them are on the show, but what's her face?
Meryl Streep.
Gladys Knight is singing Midnight Train to Georgia.
Okay.
And Jack, Ben, and Robert Downey Jr. come out and do the background vocals and do the dance and everything. And I totally expected it out of Ben Stiller and Jack Black. It surprised me Robert Downey Jr. was doing that. Because for years I've just known him as Iron Man. You know, you kind of forget.
So look up on YouTube Jamie Foxx's impression of Robert Downey Jr.
Okay.
It's funny.
Jamie Foxx does some insane good impressions.
He does.
He said that when he did stand-up comedy, one of the reasons why he was so popular, so successful, was he was the only black guy who did impressions of Ronald Reagan at the time.
I did not like him for a long time because of something he did in comedy. And then I slowly got back.
What was that?
There was a roast. There was some kind of roast thing, and there was a young comedian that was up there and bombing like crazy. And Jamie Foxx was sitting at a table, you know, like alongside a lot of other comics. And he like got really close. He's like, "This is your conscience speaking," you know, and like, they're not laughing. They don't like you, you know, and just was doing that and messing up the So
that's not nice.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And then I read that the comic had said something or done something. He made the mistake of engaging with Jamie Foxx and trying to embarrass him, which it went really wrong. So
I'm going to get in the ring with Tyson.
So the crowd is mostly laughing, but then when it shows the crowd, you see like half of them are laughing and half of them are like, "Ugh, I don't know."
Yeah.
So for a long time, I'm like, he's kind of a bully.
Yeah.
But then I've grown to like him again, you know.
Well,
because Collateral came out and that's a really good movie.
Collateral is badass. Okay. That is great. Okay. Two thoughts. Well, one thought on Collateral and then another thought on Jamie Foxx. Yeah. Collateral. My wife and I went to see that. After we watched Collateral, she told me, she said, if I was being chased by Tom Cruise, what I would do is run in the girls' bathroom because boys can't go in the girls' bathroom.
That's a solid plan.
Yeah, it's like, you know, you can't dispute that. Boys aren't allowed in there.
Can I tell you?
Just go in the girls' bathroom.
Can I tell you something about my wife in the bathroom? I'll tell you a little story.
Sure.
Just a fun little aside.
Sure. Yeah.
Something that I like to do in those situations is if I see her go into the bathroom, the bathroom up here near our kitchen where the door opens out into the hallway. The U2 bathroom. If I see her go in there, which I did 2 days ago, I get excited. She goes in there. I stand just outside the door and I wait until she's coming out. And then when she's opening the door to come out, I hit the door and then I grab my face and start screaming and fall down. And she freaks out because she thinks she killed me.
Okay.
That's my favorite. I do that once every 3 to 4 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
Normally when someone says, "Let me tell you about my wife in the bathroom," that's where you're like, listen, we're friends, but we're not that good of friends. Okay. My second thought on Jamie Foxx, and I got a lot of respect for him because of this. After he won his Academy Award, he's up there accepting.
For Ray, right?
Yes.
Ray.
Yeah. He says, "I want to thank my grandmother. She gave me my very first acting lesson. I remember when I was a kid, she would walk up to me and she would look me eye to eye and she would say, 'Act like you got some sense.'" And I've taken that line, and I don't know how many times I've told my kids, "Act like you got some sense." Come on.
This portion of Irritable Dad Syndrome is brought to you by the AMC Gremlin for 1971, a new standard of subcompact cars. It's actually shorter than Vega and Pinto, but inside there's plenty of room. With Gremlin, you can order the luxury of optional Levi's interior, Soundex all-transistor AM radio, and cigarette lighter. While being cheaper than Vega or Pinto, it's faster. Under the hood, the 199 Torque Command 6-cylinder engine is happy to provide you more power than the others. Got a hill to climb? Need to overtake a slower driver? Gremlin gives you the kind of response that makes driving fun. Whatever you're up to, Gremlin is up to it. Gremlin, where the excitement is for 71. The economy car that doesn't look like one. See your local AMC dealer today. Now, back to the show.
So at my new job, I have been. I recently got a job where I do promos for Antenna TV and Rewind TV, classic television. My first project was to do a promo coming soon to Antenna TV, My Favorite Martian. Okay. Now, I had never seen My Favorite Martian. I'd heard of it. I knew, Ray Walston was the Martian. Okay. Ray Walston used to play Judge Henry Bone on Picket Fences on CBS.
Okay.
Great TV show. Fantastic TV show.
Okay.
And then I knew that Bill Bixby was in it, but I had never seen it. Okay. This TV show came out in the 60s, 1963 to 66, I think. Mm-hmm. I'm watching this show, and oh my God, it's hilarious. Okay. Here, I never knew that Bill Bixby had physical comedy skills.
Yeah.
He reminds me so much of a young John Ritter when he was on Three's Company.
Okay.
I mean, he can dance, he can walk funny, he can twirl and the facial expressions.
Yep.
I mean, he is doing all this stuff. And for all my life, I've known him as the Incredible Hulk. Ooh. Don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
Yeah, he does three things.
Exactly. Yeah,
you get a close up of his eyes. They're
they turn green. Yeah,
he sweats.
Yes,
and then he walks away with piano music. Dun, da, da, da. Yeah. Everything else is Lou Ferrigno.
There was that episode.
And his eyebrows.
There was that episode of Family Guy where we find out that Brian can play the piano, and Sue's like, "Ooh, ooh, ooh! Can you play that sad walking away music from the Incredible Hulk?" Anyway, so I'm watching. I think I watched a dozen, 15 or 16 episodes of My Favorite Martian to get enough clips to put together for the promo.
Yeah,
and this show is fantastic, and I'm like, how can I have not ever seen this show?
Yeah.
And anyway, so everybody, you need to watch My Favorite Martian.
All right.
It's fantastic. Watch it for Bill Bixby, if anything.
I have a Kroger story.
Oh, okay.
It's a small one.
I have a small Kroger story.
You want to do it now?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, you go ahead.
It's time now for the Kroger story of the week.
It happened tonight.
Okay.
I was at the Kroger.
Okay.
And I'm in the self-checkout lane because I'm done with bagging my own groceries.
So you're just going to go and bag them?
I'm going to go bag my own groceries. I'm done with
you're
not knowing.
Show them.
Not knowing whether I'm going to be bagging or not. So I'm just going to go bag my own. Which is, I'll tell you, has cut way down on how much I buy from Kroger.
Right.
So Kroger, you're only hurting yourself.
You used to buy $330 worth of groceries.
Exactly.
Now you're going in and buying gum.
That's right. And I'm in there. I'm scanning stuff like I do.
Mm-hmm.
And
well, yeah, you have to.
Screwing around with the bag, and two of the little bag carousel. There's like 4 places to put your food.
Yeah,
and they have the little plastic, and the tabs weren't pulled out, so I had to like get in there with my fingernails.
It's impossible to open up those bags.
So I'm screwing with that, and then I hear, and I like stop and I look around, and there's a lady staring at me with the Kroger thing on, and I just go back to my thing because I don't. If you're in Kroger and someone with a Kroger vest is staring at you, that's not uncommon.
Right.
That happens, or at least to me.
Yeah.
And I was buying wine because I knew we were recording this episode tonight, and I was going to need some liquid funny.
Something to get through it, yeah.
So it does the thing where even though I'm a bald 46-year-old fat guy, bleep, someone's coming over to check your ID. So that lady comes over, and she checks the ID, and she says, and I did this.
Wait, what did she say?
So I did what I do every time somebody says something and I don't know what they said. I go, yeah, exactly. And then I go back to, because that's kind of non-committal, You're affirming something, but you're laughing while you do it. So you can always, Your Honor, I was kidding. Clearly, I was laughing.
Right.
So I finished the thing, and then I noticed another. She has a shopping cart full of flowers. And another lady comes by and says, "Really? For free?" And she says, and this is just what she sounded like to my ears. I can't hear very well, apparently. And so I go over to her with my full cart when I'm done. I'm like, "Are you giving away free flowers?" And now I'm listening to what she's saying. She's like, "Yeah, just grab any set of flowers that you want." Which was odd.
Yeah.
So I look at them,
And then you just want to get in her face and go, hey, wait a minute. What's wrong with these flowers?
I'm not sure all of these things were flowers. I've seen... I've seen
what
flowers.
Could it have been?
I've been to some funerals.
This is corn, okay? This is a corn plant. Flowers, my ass.
Some of them were flowers. Some of them were straight up freaking weeds. I think they pulled out from the front of the store and wrapped in plastic. And then there was one set of flowers that are upstairs. Yeah, spoiler alert.
Okay, yeah.
They were clearly dyed different colors. Like someone had a white flower and dipped it in those egg coloring kits.
Dye. The dye. Yeah.
And so I said, this is free. Like if I grab this, like a manager's not going to pull a gun and start shooting.
They're going to tackle you in the parking lot.
Yeah, you can totally have that for free.
Sir, put down the flowers.
So I take my groceries and my free flowers, and now I'm excited.
Mm-hmm. Wait. Did you tell Bess they were free?
Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on.
Because
my plan
would have said, look, honey, I love you so much. I bought you these flowers.
Here was my plan.
Okay.
Part of the reason I got the multicolored crazy flowers is because they were the only thing in there that to me looked like flowers and not weeds. Okay, so I got those. They looked like something a kid would pick out for his mom or for his friend.
Okay.
So I thought,
like dandelions.
My family locks the door all the time, and I have to ring the doorbell to get into my house.
You don't have a key?
No, I just never had a key made. I have a key to the back door, but I don't want to walk all the way around there.
That's right. I dropped you off one time, and you ran around back. I'm like, are you ashamed to go in the front door with me?
We've lived here for 11 years, and I still don't have a key to the front door. Now that I say that out loud, it sounds crazy, but that's what happens. Yeah. Usually, Charlie answers the door, and my plan was, I was going to hand him to Charlie when he entered the door and say, give this to Mommy and tell her that they're for her because she's so wonderful and beautiful and all this stuff. And I was like, that's going to be awesome.
You actually did something sweet?
I tried to.
Okay.
I rang the doorbell and Bess answered the door. So here I'm standing with what looks like flowers that fell into a crayon factory.
I got these flowers for you.
No, I just said here and I handed them. She's like, oh, that's nice. And I said, yeah. I was going to have Charlie give them to you, but she's like, oh, they're nice. And I'm like, yeah, they're free. And she goes, oh.
What? Why would you do that? You bring her flowers and then they're...
Yeah. So that's what being married for. How long has it been? 20? This is going to be our 20th year.
I was going to say March 2nd is Libby and I. We have our 20th anniversary, but I thought you were 19. I thought you were a year behind us.
We got married in 2002.
Okay, so yeah. Well, my Kroger story isn't anywhere near as exciting. Kate Halpin, fan of the show, friend to both of us. I told you that a couple of weeks ago I ran into her at Kroger, and she was asking me what I was doing at the other Kroger, and then it turned into a conversation
like it's any of her business.
Right, like I'm cheating on the other Kroger. Like I can go to any Kroger I want. I'm a grown man. Don't tell me which Kroger I need to go to, Kate.
Kate Halpin, quit being a brown shirt and goose-stepping your way through our lives.
Exactly. Mind your business. So anyway, I told that story on the podcast. Well, she got all excited because she heard the podcast. She goes, oh, cool, they mentioned me. Oh. So I get the text from her, Dear Irritable Dad Syndrome, I heard you guys mention me on the show. Thank you. Funny thing was, I heard the story while I was listening in the Kroger parking lot.
Oh, my God.
So it's kind of like an Inception thing.
Yeah.
Kate hears the story of her in Kroger while she's in Kroger. Yeah. And then I'm telling the story about her listening to the Kroger story at Kroger. Yeah. And then she'll probably listen to this story while she's waiting in Kroger to get into Kroger.
It'd be cool if she saw you in Kroger while listening to the story.
Yes.
And you asked her while she had her...
Exactly. Dream inside a dream earbuds. Inside a dream.
Yeah. You'd be moving really slow.
Couldn't possibly move any slower than I do now.
This has been the Kroger Story of the Week.
So I got mad at my family the other night.
Uh-oh.
I got furious with my family.
Okay.
So for Christmas, Andrew wanted tickets to a sporting event. Okay?
Right.
So we got him tickets. We got the whole family tickets to see the Bearcats.
The UC Bearcats.
University of Cincinnati Bearcats.
Undefeated.
Okay.
Until
this last game that we saw them at.
Yeah, the championship.
The basketball. We're going to see basketball.
Oh, I thought you were talking football. Okay.
So, And side note, Your Honor, I still don't know what a bearcat is, but at the game they had pictures of what looks like a cross between a bear and a cat, and I can only assume that is what a bearcat is.
Well, I think it's gray, isn't it? I don't know.
This was a line drawing, so it didn't really have any color, but it looked terrifying.
Oh, yes.
The name bearcat doesn't sound terrifying.
Okay.
None of this has anything to do with my story.
Right.
We are going there. We are planning to eat something before we go to the game.
Mm-hmm.
We quickly realize we're not going to have time to eat anywhere before the game, so we're going to eat at the game. We're going to eat a $12 hot dog or whatever. Okay.
So I hope you brought $100.
Right, here's the deal. All right, you ready for this?
Yeah. I'm psyched.
Buckle up. We walk a half mile in the snow to get to the stadium or whatever. Is that what you call it? Or the arena?
Yeah.
Okay. And our seats are what would typically be referred to as nosebleeds, like way up in the section.
Up top. Yeah.
So as we were walking there, we were deciding we're going to eat there. And Bess came up with the idea, or one of us came up with the idea. You take one kid and then come back, and I'll take the other kid and come back, and we'll all have our food and we'll all be happy. That sounds like a wonderful plan.
That's not a bad plan.
No, it's efficient. Mm-hmm. Everyone gets to see as much of the game as they want.
Mm-hmm.
Each parent only takes one trip. What could possibly go wrong? I'll tell you.
Tell me, Mike.
We climb up to where our seats are. We had to pause because the oxygen was a little lower.
you had to camp.
We had to camp, base camp.
For a week.
And we get up there. We had to acclimate. We get up there. And Charlie says he's hungry because he's the one that was really hungry the whole time.
Yeah.
So I said to Bess, I'm going to take Charlie to get some food. And she said, oh, can you get me a hot dog? And I looked at her. I just stared at her for a second. I was like, you want me to, you're not going to take Andrew? And then as Andrew left my mouth, Andrew said, yeah, get me a pretzel and a Sprite. Okay. And then Bess said, forget it. I'll go later. I'm like, no, okay. I'll get you a hot dog.
I'm so uncomfortable.
And I'll get him a pretzel.
Okay.
Okay. So me and Charlie go down and we get in line and the pretzels are all screwed up because they're not warming correctly. But they had some that had gotten warm but had no salt on them.
What's the point?
The point is we wanted salt.
No, what's the point in making a pretzel without salt on it?
Well, they asked us.
That's like going to a hooker and asking for a hug.
When we ordered pretzels, they said, do you want salt on your pretzels?
Yeah.
And
of course I do.
Yeah. Does the Pope poop in the woods? That type of thing came into mind. Yes, I want salt on my pretzel. Yeah. And so then there's this lady over there spraying it and plastering the salt on manually. I'm like, well, I'm kind of like seeing the sausage being made here. It doesn't look that appetizing.
It's the same salt they put on the roads, by the way.
I don't care because one of them is Andrew's pretzel and one of them is Charlie's pretzel. It ain't going in me.
Right.
It became very apparent when they gave me the cups, they don't give you straws or tops of the cup.
Right.
Charlie's not going to be able to carry anything because I'll remind you, we're in Everest. And there's no way a kid is climbing with all that.
Right.
Plus, Charlie recently has gotten this problem with carrying drinks where he forgets that gravity works and he just kind of tilts them and water just goes everywhere. So I only have room to carry the two pretzels. I let him carry a pretzel, me carry a pretzel. I'll carry both drinks. And I got another pretzel in my armpit. Okay. In my elbow.
Hey, it keeps it warm.
We get back up. Warm. We get back up to the thing, and then I give Andrew his. Charlie has his. Bess gives me the "Where's my hot dog?" look. I give her the "I'll be right back with your hot dog" look. I go back down. I get her hot dog. Okay. I come back up with her hot dog and her drink because I can only carry one food item in one drink at a time.
Right.
I took some enjoyment in the fact that I had to get her mustard. She hates mustard, but they didn't have ketchup. And I gleefully got a packet of mustard and put it on the hot dog.
You put it on the hot dog?
I didn't apply it to the hot dog. I placed it on the hot dog.
Okay.
And then I took it back up to her, and I didn't explain the mustard. I just said, here. And then now I'm going to go back down and get my food. Now, the first time I went down with Charlie, hold on. The first time I went down there with Charlie, there was nobody in line. Now when I go back down, it's in one of these, we're taking a break and there's a timeout. It's packed.
Mm-hmm.
The pretzel machine goes down.
Oh, God.
The hot dogs machine is screwed up. So I order a hot dog. It's like, well, it's been here for a while. It's not really, just give me the hot dog and a pretzel. Our pretzels are still warming up. I just got pretzels. Those were the old ones. The new pretzels are still warming up. So I'm standing there waiting for the pretzel. How long is the pretzel going to be? About 10 minutes.
10 minutes?
So I eat the hot dog while I'm standing there. I'm missing the game, by the way, that I paid all this money for. I eat the hot dog. I'm waiting for the pretzel. Finally, the guy says, you've got a pretty distinct look about you.
What's it got to do with pretzels?
I thought that was all he was going to say, so I started to say thank you, and he said, "We can if you come back down and ask for your pretzel in 10 minutes, we'll know who you are." Okay, so I climbed back up Mount Everest again, and I sat there. I set a timer on my phone for 10 minutes. I'm going to go back down and get the pretzel. I lean over to let Bess know the pretzel machine is broken, so I have to go back down for my pretzel, and I'm very hungry. Just thought you'd like to know. What? And then I said, I thought we had a plan on how I picked this fight in the middle of the thing.
Have you cleared this story with your wife?
No.
No, okay.
No.
I think this is all going to be edited out.
I go back down. No, I told her I was going to tell this story.
Oh, okay.
I go back down. I point to my face and I said, pretzel guy. Yeah. And they said it'll just be a few more minutes. I'm like, okay. They finally come back over and say, it's going to be about 10 more minutes. At this point, the pretzel's been warming for about a half hour when you count the trips back and forth and all this stuff. So I'm like, just give me the pretzel. Do you want to feel it first? I never pass up an opportunity to feel it first.
No, what you do is you feel it really good and go, nah, no.
Yeah.
So, I don't want it.
So I felt the pretzel.
Do you want to feel it
It's
first?
a very uncomfortable moment when I'm squeezing a pretzel that another man is holding and decide, I'll take this one. That's good enough.
Yeah.
And I took it back up there. For anyone who's counting, I've made so many trips.
I think that's 5.
I'm out of breath by the time I get back up there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I wait for the game is over, and we have one of those moments where we're driving home. And it's quiet. I'm like, all I'm saying is the plan was I take a kid, you take a kid.
Right.
So, the explanation I got back? Well, once we got up there and I saw how far it was and how hard it was to get up to the seat, I just really didn't feel like going back down there again. And you offered. You were going anyway. So, and it's one of those so's where the unspoken part is suck it. But it's not filled in. So, what's the moral of this story?
I don't know. I'm afraid to. Because I'm afraid to say anything. Bess is like, oh, so you agree with Mike? No, the last time we went to a marching band competition, it was kind of a similar situation, although we didn't have a discussion. Okay. But we would sit there in the seats and Libby would be like, boy, those pretzels sure do look good. And I'm like, okay, I was like, all right, what do you want? Do you want a pretzel? She says, well, if you're going to go get one, well, I'm going to go get one because you keep saying, boy, those pretzels look good. Yeah. So I go, and then what sucks is like when you go and then they're out of pretzels.
Yeah.
Like how you out of pretzels?
Yeah.
Your only job is to have pretzels. Okay. So I went and they don't have a sign that says out of pretzels.
No,
right?
they should.
They don't hang something up.
No.
Which they should. Because now I only waited a few minutes, not like 20 or whatever, like some people did at other things.
Yeah.
But I'll take a pretzel. Oh, we're sold out. I'm like, seriously? And that was the only thing that they had. Okay. So they're sold out of pretzels. I could have bought a soda or a pop or a Coke or whatever you want to call it.
These are the super pretzels.
Yeah.
There's like a Monopoly super pretzel, and then there's Auntie Anne's for
don't you dare say a word about Auntie Anne's pretzels.
Weirdos.
Do not speak ill of Auntie Anne's pretzels.
I won't. I'm just saying.
Don't you dare.
I'm just saying.
I will climb across this desk and smack the snot out of you.
I learned something very disturbing.
What's that?
Because you can get super pretzels at Kroger.
Mm-hmm.
But I look at them and I think those are the crappy little frozen pretzels for the plebeians.
Right.
These aren't the homemade good pretzels that you get at the ball game or whatever.
Right.
I learned through interaction with these people, it's the same thing. Mm-hmm. They are frozen pretzels that they hang in there and it warms up and then they give them to you.
Right.
I had just visions in my head of some old lady in the back that's making pretzels and pouring road salt on them and putting them out on the thing.
Well, you know what kills me is when, the wife is sitting there watching the seats. Now, at your baseball or basketball game, you had reserved seats, right?
Yeah.
So nobody needed to hold the seats.
Uh-huh.
If this was a situation where you go hold the seats and I'll get the food, that would have made sense to me.
Uh-huh.
And for people who aren't in the room, I have got my hands north and south, east and west.
Effectively gesturing.
I am visually gesturing for an audio podcast that no one will see.
Yeah.
So when we went to this marching band tournament, Libby had the seats. Okay, so she and Cameron are there. They have the coats. They have the umbrella. They've got the stuff. Yeah. So it's okay. Yeah.
Yeah. You are democratically.
We can't divide and conquer.
Yeah.
At this point.
Uh-huh.
So I go to get the pretzels, and they're sold out of pretzels, and then I come back empty-handed. And so why am I in trouble? Like, what do you mean they're out of pretzels? Yeah. Like, it's not my fault.
It's pretty clear.
Why didn't you bring me a pretzel? They don't have them. Yeah.
It's a pretty clear sentence. They have no pretzels.
They have no pretzels. Yes, we have no pretzels.
Ain't no pretzels when it rains.
Bang, bang, bang.
It's time for Dave's Comedy Corner. I went into a gas station the other day and saw a guy buying one roll of toilet paper. And I thought, what are you trying to do? Quit? This has been Dave's Comedy Corner.
Ah, waka, waka, waka.
So I started watching a new show on Netflix that I want to tell people about.
Okay.
Meaning you. And we have one viewer, which is our bot.
Right. Hi, bot.
The Movies That Made Us. Have you seen that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
I love it. Not as good as the Toys That Made Us.
See, I don't have any interest in the Toys That Made Us.
If you would just watch the Star Wars one.
All right.
The Star Wars one was worth its weight in gold.
I will do that.
But yeah, the Movies That Made Us, I've watched the Home Alone.
Okay.
The Jurassic Park.
Okay.
I watched the one on Ghostbusters.
Okay.
The Ghostbusters one was just fantastic.
Really?
Because, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because they shot it. Was my point.
Not many people know this, but Ghostbusters starred Bill Murray.
Yes, that's true. That's a little fun fact. Yeah. Well, they were trying to they wanted to get John Belushi. And then Bill Murray ended up taking that part.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I've seen the Friday the 13th one.
Mm-hmm.
Nightmare on Elm Street. I started season 3. It had like this horror theme.
Oh, it's all the horror movies?
Yeah. Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, Halloween, and Aliens. So they were all really good.
I haven't seen any of these.
It terrified me. The horror ones terrified me with how close. So when you think of iconic movie franchises in the horror genre, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, Halloween, those are like
standards.
They're standards.
Exactly.
Nightmare on Elm Street almost stopped being made and didn't get made for years because of all kinds of issues. Nobody could understand it. Nobody knew what the hell this was supposed to be.
Right.
X happened, Y happened, all this stuff. It was just amazing. Same thing with Friday the 13th. It was so almost canceled so many times, and it's weird looking back and thinking, man, they almost didn't make a Aliens.
Yeah.
The only reason that happened is because apparently James Cameron is a huge jerk and just doesn't care. And he's like, I'm making my movie.
Okay. He wears a hat on the sets of, I don't know if it's the set of every movie.
I shouldn't call him a jerk, but
HMFIC. Head in charge. That's James Cameron.
They had, so each one, I guess you've seen it a few times. So they'll have like these little things that are like in themes of the movie. So in the Aliens when they had like little cut things that were like in the graphics on the computer screens, and they had the rules on a Jim Cameron movie. They call him Jim Cameron.
Yeah.
And rule number 2 was never say no.
Right.
And so they have all these little like stories that like the director of photography, and they would lead up to, and I had to tell Jim Cameron that we couldn't do it.
Oh God.
And then it would flip to another guy and said, you never tell Jimmy no. You never tell him no.
No.
And it's like, and I went up to him and I said, and he looked at me and I said, we'll have it to you by 3:00 today. And they just said these amazing things because they were all terrified of it.
Yeah. I have a friend, Chris Gady, I used to work with together at a TV station in Dayton. He left little Dayton, Ohio, went out to Los Angeles, California to make it in the film business. And by God, he worked at Jim Cameron's company.
Wow.
Yeah. I remember I got an email from him once. He says, when I walk into work, I walk past the Terminator. There's in glass at Jim Cameron's office there, the whatever.
Wow.
And he walks past him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he does it now, but he did.
Yeah.
So
would they talk about the Terminator?
I know a guy who worked for Jim Cameron.
They talk about the Terminator and the Aliens one. That was part of the reason he was allowed to do the Aliens. Like when he did the thing.
Yeah.
And
when he did the thing.
He sold
that thing. Yeah.
He sold it to them. Like, he's like, I'm Terminator guy.
Yeah.
And like, oh. And they
come on in.
And they had to make it in England because it was going to be too expensive to make here, doing all the special effects that he wanted to do.
Yeah.
So in England, nobody knew who he was because the Terminator hadn't like hit there.
Yeah.
So he had a screening where he showed the movie The Terminator, and then got up at the end and said, "That was me.
That was me."
And they was like, "Okay, make our movie."
Yeah.
It's just insane.
Yeah.
The stories that come from that stuff.
So the one that they did on Elf was fantastic.
Okay, yeah.
And the one they did on Home Alone was really cool.
Okay.
And they were just what I'm fascinated with on these stories was nobody really wanted to make this movie. Okay. That they were like, yeah, we can, but we're only going to do it with this guy. Or it's like you look at all these impossible odds.
Yeah.
And they didn't want Bruce Willis in Die Hard.
Oh, I haven't seen the Die Hard one. I've been saving that one.
You haven't watched the
No, there's certain ones I want to be ready for.
They're like, okay, we're going to make this potential blockbuster with the guy from Moonlight.
Yeah.
Really? Okay. By the way, I watched Die Hard again.
Okay.
Over Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you watch,
I haven't seen it in like 20 years.
So it's worth watching the Halloween one to see. My favorite thing about the one about Halloween is the guy that played Michael Myers.
Yeah.
Had no idea what he was doing at any point, and it's hilarious.
Yeah.
He said we needed a killer, and John Carpenter and all of them are like, well, you're not really acting, you're just standing there with the mask. And he said, I was literally told, go stand behind this laundry and look up at that room and stare, count to 10, and then run behind a bush. Yeah. And he said, there's a scene, he's like, I sit up and I turn my head. It's like one of the iconic scenes. He sits straight up and he turns his head. Yeah. He's like, what you don't hear, because they cut out that part of the audio, is John Carpenter back going, just sit up, turn your head. Now stay that way. Don't move. Don't move. Just stare. Okay, good. It's like every scary scene in that movie. He's like, he said at one point halfway through the movie, he and the crew became convinced it was a comedy. It was like Airplane. And they were being told to play it straight because it was going to be more hilarious. And then when they saw the final product, they're like, oh my God, that's terrifying. And then after you watch the Halloween one, watch the Friday the 13th one, because the guy that created the whole series, Friday the 13th, I was laughing myself silly because they have all these little interviews talking about how Friday the 13th is a total copy of Halloween. It's like, no, it's not. It's its own thing. And it finally gets to the guy that made it. He's like, yeah, we totally made Halloween. He's like, I mean, seriously, look at it. He's like, all we did was take Halloween and add blood, which when he said that, I was like, it expects you to have the look that you're having. Like, wait, there was blood in there's no blood in Halloween.
You're right.
There's one scene with blood. They when at the beginning, the sister, and then that's it. Everything else is bloodless.
Yeah.
And he said, all we did was like, we're going to remake Halloween. We can't do it in a house with babysitters because we'll get sued.
Right.
So we'll do it at a lake, and we'll just put tons of blood in it and Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the guy. That was the guy screwing around with the sound. He's like, I'm just trying to make cool sounds. And he's like, whoa.
So that happened accidentally.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, tons of things in there happened accidentally.
Isn't that awesome?
Yeah,
I love that behind the scenes stuff.
The only guy in Friday the 13th, and they admit it in the show, the only one who knew what he was doing was the special effects guy.
Yeah,
like everybody else was like, I had no idea what the hell was going on. And then it gets to the special effects guy. He's like, I'm the Lord of Blood. And he just goes through like he was involved in every horror movie you've ever seen in your life.
Well, that
had practical effects.
Is it the Farrelly brothers?
Okay.
They did, and I'm going to get this wrong. The Farrelly brothers I know they did Dumb and Dumber. Yeah. And they also did Ben Stiller and Cameron Diaz.
Zoolander?
Something About Mary.
Something About Mary, yeah.
It was one of those movies. Anyway, they had written this script, and somehow turns out they were going to direct it. Okay. They had no idea they were going to direct it. And they're like, what do you mean we're directing it? Yes, you're directing this movie. Yeah. And I'm totally getting this story all wrong.
It doesn't matter. Okay. Nobody's listening anyway.
Yeah. They're helmed to direct this movie, and it's like day one, and they talk to one of the producers, I think, and they're like, we've never directed a movie. We don't know what we're doing. Yeah. And he says, go talk to the director of photography. Yeah. Go talk to your DP. Yeah. And that's what they did. And the DP helped them get through their very first movie. They'd never directed anything before. Yeah. Yeah.
The Nightmare on Elm Street one, the guy that invented the glove.
Yeah.
He was just like, they came to him and said he was already working on the movie. They said, yeah, he has this weapon. It's a glove with claws. And he's like, that's the only description I was given. He's like daggers? And he's like, just a glove with claws. So he made the glove, like he actually forged it. And he said in this thing, he's like an idiot, I made it razor sharp. Oh. So he's like, the first time I put it on, I was like, yeah, here's what you... And I was in the hospital an hour later.
Jeez. Yeah.
He said and Robert Englund cut himself on it tons of times. And he said, when you see me using the glove in the movie and I look like I know what I'm doing, he's like, that's after hours and days and weeks of practice after butchering myself by accident. I had to learn how to mess with it.
Back to Halloween. Yeah. When I lived in Johnson City, I used to have super cool neighbors, Chris and Heather. Okay. And they lived right to the left apartment of mine. And these guys were awesome. And we would play pranks on each other all the time. Which I'll get into in another episode. So anyway, I come home one day and Chris is standing outside next to his car. And I said, hey man, what's going on? And not much. And I said, a buddy of mine loaned me Halloween. Do you want to come over and watch it tonight? I was going to watch it. And he goes, no, I can't. I got things to do. I'm like, okay. So I went in. Stupid me. I tell my neighbors that I'm watching a Halloween movie, a horror movie by myself. And they start on the wall. They start tapping at the back window. And then they start tapping at the front window. And then they start scratching on the walls. I'm like, hey, I know that's you, Chris. Chris, is that you? And then you hear him laughing through the wall. Like, God, those are great neighbors. I love those guys. So thanks everybody for listening. This has been episode 77. Before we go, we want to tell you again, go to irritabledadsyndrome.com. Listen to previous episodes. Okay. We've got some doozies on there. Episode 65. Go listen to episode 65 for once. Go to our merch section. Halloween and Valentine's Day, both holidays that are coming up, Christmas, Arbor Day. Okay.
Subscribe to us or follow us on whatever platform you're listening to.
If you subscribe, then every episode comes to you automatically.
It's wonderful.
So it'd be fantastic.
Patreon, if you're interested in supporting us financially, you also get some benefit. During the COVID days, we had to record the episodes simultaneously in separate areas.
Remotely.
And I thought it would be hilarious to just release half of the conversation. And it's as dumb and oddly fascinating as you think it would be. Yeah. If you think the idea of hearing someone sit alone in the basement and have a conversation with themselves is interesting, I thought it was. We have some uncensored episodes.
Yes, we do.
We'll have an uncensored version of this. The raw feed with video will be on the Patreon for subscribers. So there's fun stuff.
Yeah, one other thing. And before I came over here tonight to record, I called Jason Durbin. He is a Patreon member. And if you become a Patreon member, we will have our voice announcer, Dave Lay, record an outgoing phone message for your cell phone, okay?
Yeah.
So I called him. He is actually using it as his outgoing message, which is awesome. So, Jason, thank you so much for that.
So if you're a new listener, Dave Lay is a part of the show. He's the part of the show that has talent.
Yes. He's the funny one.
He's the funny one.
He is the guy who holds this podcast together.
Yeah. So in normal podcasts, when you hear the commercial come on, you think, oh, crap, here I got to listen about a ball shaver.
Right.
That's the best part of the show.
And we're going to toss to Dave right now with the close. Dave, take it away.
Well, that wraps it up for this week. I'll go back to the garage. You see, me and the little wife had a bit of a tiff, and I've been sleeping in the car. But that's okay. I like it in there. See you next time.
All right, you hayseeds, it's a stick up. Everybody freeze. Everybody down on the ground.
Well, which is it, young feller? You want I should freeze or get down on the ground? Mean to say, if I freeze, I can't rightly drop. And if I drop, I'm going to be in motion. You see?
Shut up!
Okay, then.